Hey, what's up, nerds? Here talking about all the shit going on in the world and in the nerd sphere. Aliens. I grew up as a kid watching X-Files. It was disturbing, it was dark. No wonder I grew up to be such a dark, evil, goth, angst-ridden, antisocial skeptic of everything in reality. But X-Files was right about a lot of things. They predicted 9/11, they predicted the government surveillance state. With Epstein, all that crap, the more and more within the last year itself that we find out, yeah, don't trust your government. Don't trust your government for a worth of shit. But something else they're right about is all these UFO files, all these alien abduction stories, all these like government hearings. It's something straight out of the mouth of Fox Mulder. It's just, I believe aliens are real. And at this point, I'm willing to believe almost anything when it comes to distrusting the government and the existence of extraterrestrial life. I believe in alien abductions. I believe in hybridization programs. There's things like the Blue Book, which is something that actually happened to me on my first day of college, 10 years ago, where apparently there's a book where government agents said that it's literally Men in Black. That the world governments have agreements with numerous alien civilizations to have small colonies on Earth hidden from the observing eye and can do whatever they want to select human individuals. Yeah, it gets crazy. I don't know if I believe in it completely, but like, I don't distrust anything nowadays when it comes to aliens, with all this stuff hang out. I'm willing to believe almost anything. Maybe a billion different stories that are all contradictory at once are true. I mean, I believe in extraterrestrial life. I believe that there are experimentations. I believe in these esoteric ancient civilizations that came to Earth, guided evolution, taught us the occult, taught us magic, something of Conan the Barbarian, and they've been guiding human evolution. But the weird thing with the Blue Book, aside from the fact there's numerous alien civilizations and races with all different goals for humanity, they all acknowledge the existence of a universal entity they call God. So even the Blue Book's like, yeah, there's a higher power than alien life, which is something X-Files did a really good job at. There's a higher power than the colonists that the aliens feared, a power that humans would call God. And I still believe in that. No matter how advanced these civilizations are, they're still mortal. They can bend time and space, but they are not gods. They're still mortal. And the reason they've taken such an interest in humans, in my opinion, is because they need our genetic material for breeding and to rebuild their own species. Because there's this thing in sci-fi, when a species becomes so advanced, they lose their ability to sexually reproduce. I think that's what we're looking at with the Greys at the very least. And then you get into all the conspiracy theories, which I believe in. I believe JFK and Reagan were going to disclose alien files. I believe that Roswell did happen. That's where our technology skyrocketed post-1950s. I believe most of these conspiracy theories. I believe most of them. But the thing with aliens, and this is where I'll talk about there are cosmic forces. There's aliens, there's angels, there's demons, there's Niflheim. When you look at all the mythologies, there's the various pantheons, there's the various beings and orders, and pantheons fighting into their pantheons, good versus evil. And then you have like the Prometheus myths. And I think these are all stories meant to tell a point that there are orders of beings and forces of cosmic order and cosmic evil, cosmic chaos and cosmic good, all fighting and trying to guide the human race. I think God is the transcendent universal force that keeps all these forces in line and in check. That's why we haven't been invaded. That's why we haven't been enslaved. And if you really read the Book of Enoch, and the Babylonian myth is the flood was meant to free us from enslavement to the Anunnaki, the fallen Niflheim, the demonic giants, the gods of old. And I believe that. I believe it's a metaphor for the universal power coming down and fucking over the demonic aliens trying to play gods and freeing humanity from their power. That's just my interpretation. And if you look throughout the cosmos, this is my perspective as a Christian, You could have entire civilizations that are slaves to the evil force, the negative current of energy. Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, Azael, all names for similar beings that all serve the dark force, the negative current. And there's alien beings that serve God, whether those be angels, alien civilizations that have sworn fealty to the Lord, all sorts of things. I believe ancient empires and civilizations spoken of in Middle Eastern texts, especially Canaan and Israelite, was there were civilizations like Babylon and ancient Babylon, not the pre-flood Babylon, the Babylon of the Tower of Babel, and these esoteric civilizations that worship the Niflheim made deals with dark powers, and they were trying to build stargates and serve the universal creator God. And that's why we have stories like the fall of the Tower of Babel. It's to put humanity on it's the universe reminding humanity where we fit in, and not to sell your soul for power and serve these evil dark entities. And now, getting back on the other thing, I mean, I do think there's alien colonies here on Earth. I do believe in UFOs. I do believe that there are alien breeding projects. I do believe corporations have alien relics and alien bodies that they use for their advancement. Elon Musk, go fuck yourself. I firmly believe in all these alien abductions. I believe all these experiments, all these like dark, twisted things. I chalk that up to aliens who have no morality and have lost their souls. Because here's a theory. I think you can lose your soul, your connection to the divine source of the universe, if you go down the wrong path of evolution. I think evolution is also a spiritual thing. I don't think a lot of aliens sold their collective souls to the dark energy, and they do all these terrible experiments on humans, either out of malicious will, or they do it because they're desperate, trying to regain their own ability to reproduce, or their ability to cross genetic, like populate, maybe make a slave race. I think the aliens that don't experiment are guides, helping us in our evolution. Guiding us in our evolution. Guiding us in our evolution, teaching us the right things. I think the ones enslave and conduct genetic experiments, which is what I think inspired the Book of Enoch, or the Anunnaki, wanted to create slave races, and they lost their souls to the negative current, and they wanted to create a slave race, and they taught us, and they wanted to create like a slave empires through like Babylon, the Tower of Babel, the teachings of the fallen watchers to humanity, Prometheus. I think these are all our mythological way of explaining the conflict between order and chaos and how we evolve as a species. Different races are trying to make us evolve down certain lines, certain genetic lines, certain spiritual genetic lines of evolution. I also want to say, magic is a science we don't understand yet. So all this stuff, quantum physics, is pretty much proving to us that all the things we consider were magic, or thaumaturgy, or theurgy, all these spiritual and meditative practices and religious practices, whatever the religious system be, are often tools from outside sources, not always the same source, competing pantheons, to guide us and as a species and our psychology, our core beliefs, because thoughts are power. Belief is power. And these can become physics in the universe. If you believe something hard enough, it can become reality in some shape or form. I think the different pantheons experimented with different human populations and different religions influenced and guided different populations to different forms of evolution and different thinking and different development. I think the pantheons, or the deities that the aliens, whatever you want to call these entities, I think the ones who built empires were being guided by the negative current. And I'm not going to say Jesus Christ is an alien. There's some rocks I'm not going to go down, because I believe Jesus Christ is an ascended being, an embodiment and avatar of a divine reality of love. But I do believe a lot of aliens that a lot of things we would call angels are aliens. Beings that are servants to the higher power. The divine monad. The one, the father, whatever you want to call them. Universal creator. I think we all have there's all these parallels from all the different religions. The obsession with astrology, the obsession with the planets, the obsession with reincarnation. I think these are all indicators of quantum mechanics, all this magic, thaumaturgy. It's just ways of evolving and adapting our evolution. Because here's a hot take. I think humans were more evolved millennia ago than we are now. Because we could tap into the power of life, the force, animism, all this crap. Because we had a deeper connection with nature and the life currents of the universe around us. That allowed us to do things like Stonehenge. That allowed us to do things like the pyramids. Don't limit the understanding of ancient peoples based on the limited imagination of that people have now. I know people are going to call me conspiracy theorists for all this crap, but I'm just saying this is my opinion. I could definitely be wrong. All religions could be wrong. But at the end of the day, all these theories, they make us more interesting than blind herd animals. The point is to ask the question in the first place. And if you're asking these questions and thinking about them, you're more evolved than someone who's an atheist and just goes on like fucking Reddit and bitches about what form of communism is better than the other form of communism. Fucking hate Blue Sky. But that's been my little rant about aliens for today, folks. These are things worth looking into. And I'm not a professor. I'm not alien abduction. I'm just an autistic weirdo, 29-year-old emo edgelord who plays too much D&D and gets high too much and makes dark jokes about furries. Till next time, God bless, stay sane, fuck Disney, and death to the stupid virus that is consuming the human race.